for today. Our first speaker for the program is Harish Upadhya, a passionate young journalist who took to the profession, believing that it is one of the strongest ways to bring about a change. Welcome back, sir. Harish Upadhya is a multilingual reporter who reports in English, Hindi and Kannada. He started off his career with TV9 as an anchor and reporter. He also worked as a reporter with NDTV. Currently, he is a special correspondent with national news channel NewsX, taking care of the news reportage in the state of Karnataka. He was awarded as the Best Young Television Journalist of 2014, and he also won the Best Budding Journalist Award by ITV Network. Please put your hands together for Harish Upadhya.
Hi, so since my thrice days have never been that people being used to it and it's boring, so I haven't got one. I studied in thrice in between 2008 and 11. We were the first team university batch. And it's great to see the college growing so much on multiple campuses. And I studied JP here, JP English. So essentially then our only demand with Harish sir and others was that we have journalism honors, because then we had started psychology honors, so we were pushing for journalism honors. Now to see the department grow so much is fantastic. When the team got in touch with me, they said, we'll have to talk about ethics in media. I thought perhaps it's happening at the right time. I'll just touch upon 3 different topics of ethical issues that we are facing right now, or probably what's stopping journalists from going about their business in an ethical way. As I see, one is paid news and corruption. I would say paid news is a very mild term. It should be called corruption, that's what it is. The second is the issue of editorial line. You see, most of the news channels today have taken a clear-cut editorial line, who we are backing, who will broadcast stories against, whom we won't touch. And the political pressure that comes in, or I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of ownership model that we are seeing. And the third obvious one is fake news. That's our daily challenge. I'll come to the first bit of the issue of paid news or corruption. As I said, it's just too mild to call it paid news. Just call it corruption. That's what it should be called. Now, if you look at how it's working, we will have to bifurcate this into the large mainstream English media and the local vernacular media. If you come to vernacular media, one thing that I will have to point out here is, in this year alone, we've had 15 journalists who've been arrested in Karnataka, largely for extortion or trying to tarnish someone's image by taking money. 15 of them arrested. And the organizations are to be blamed for this partially, because many of these journalists that we know who've been arrested, we knew that they had a shady background. And you have organizations employing them, and these organizations too have a shady background. I mean, come on, GST happened, demonetization happened, still you have news channels in Karnataka paying your salary by cash. It's not acceptable, right? So you obviously are getting unaccounted money and paying them, and that's why, once again, he'll go on to make that money in an unaccounted way by taking money or asking a politician for money. I'll come to some examples on how it really happens. If you look at vernacular media, the huge problem that we see today is our district teams. You have stringers in each of the districts of Karnataka, and it pretty much operates in a similar fashion in every state that I've seen. You don't pay them well. Most of our district reporters get paid, say, around 7,000 to 10,000 rupees. And who can survive in 7,000 to 10,000 rupees even if you're staying in the village? So what they do, how it operates is, they form a gang, then they will say, we have this story, probably they'll go to a politician or someone who's running a illegal stone crusher business and say, give us this much money, otherwise we will run this story. So he'll collect that money, and that's corruption that happens there. It happens in similar fashion, or they ask for money to broadcast a story, and then once again that's corruption. So at a district level, you have a lot of corruption happening, and it's the same with the management as well. We have seen managements that have extorted money from politicians. Just the other day, I was having a chat with Soumya Reddy, she's an MLA. I think part of this college is also in that constituency, if I'm not wrong. And she was telling how just to get a small news covered, she has been asked money by several people. And we had a huge argument in Vidhan that she should have ideally come out and called out those journalists on Twitter or Facebook or other places. But there is a chance for an individual in an organization to change a lot of it. For example, I was also part of the Newsx Kannada team that came together to start a Kannada channel, and then they also had it for some time. Now they're going digital as well. And we had a state election happening, and I can tell you honestly, nobody in our office made any sort of a deal in money or got into corruption. Because my editor here and me and others, we all are reporters who went in there, and none of us are corrupt. So if you are an individual, you can change things. For example, I was with TV9 News 9, I think, if I'm not wrong, that was my first or second year, and there was this college on the outskirts of the city that was cheating foreigners. For example, they would get the foreigners who have a BA degree, their arts degree in their country, and assure them of a pharmacy seat or a science seat here in Bangalore. They would come and then realize that they don't even have the eligibility. So we went to cover that story, and then this guy offered money, I refused, and he tried to get in touch with others. And finally the story went on here. What I want to tell you is that once you put your foot down and a message goes very clearly that you're not someone who will be corrupt, you won't take money into your stories in an honest way, nobody will approach you then, and then you can go about your business. But coming to the issue of editorial line and pressure, that's really where you get into a fight with the organization, or rather, you have a huge debate with your editor multiple times. I'll give you some of the examples. One is, now channels post, say 2014, have taken a very clear editorial line on who they will back, what are the kind of stories they'll take. You have channels that will say, okay, we will not touch the BJP or Mr. Amit Shah or Mr. Modi, but we'll target the opposition. You have channels which will say, okay, we'll do only a very balanced kind of a story. When they say balanced, they are meaning that we will do stories against BJP, but we will not touch Mr. Modi or Amit Shah. So this becomes a problem when you start doing reports and you either have a BJP or a politician or anyone who's involved in that. I'll give you some of the examples that happened post-2014. I think after Mr. Modi came in, there was this whole award wapsi thing that happened. And a lot of people got threats as well. We have a writer called Professor Bhagwan in Karnataka. And he's someone who's very articulate, at the same time gives out controversial statements. He had given out the controversial statements about Rama and Ramayana, etc., and he had life threat. So we were covering that story, and I had met Mr. Bhagwan multiple times before. And he was coming to Bangalore and then going to Kozhikode or somewhere in Kerala, I don't remember. And I met him at the railway station, and I spoke to him for a few minutes, and after that I called up my editor and said, Bhagwan has spoken to us. Nobody could reach him that day, and he left to Kerala. So I told him, he's leaving to Kerala, he's spoken to us, you can run it whenever you want. And I would not like to name the editor, but the editor said, oh, okay, fantastic. Then we'll say Mr. Bhagwan is fleeing from Karnataka, he's leaving Karnataka. I said, no, he told me he has a scheduled program, he's going there. And we had a huge argument. The editor is now editor of a different channel. And I put my foot down and said, no, he's very clearly told what his issue is and where he's going. You can't say he's fleeing Karnataka. And he said in Hindi, "Dekho beta, tumhe difficult ho jayega," and all that. But I stood my ground. I said I won't take that line in my life, and I didn't mention what he said. So that's where I think as individuals you can make certain difference. The other aspect that I have to mention here, the other problem apart from the editorial line the channel takes and the reporter constantly having to battle for his stories to ensure that it goes irrespective of the editorial lines the channel is. The second aspect of this politicians, owners, nexus, / the pressure that politicians bring in. You often see several stories being dropped because the politician got to know much before that the story is being aired about him, so he will call the editor, the owner, and get it dropped. But it's always a fight that you have to put up. I'll give you 3 examples where a reporter has been successful, where his stories have been dropped and what he can do. There's a Home Minister of Karnataka in the last government, I wouldn't name him, but we did a story against him, I did a story against him. He called my editor at 12 in the night and said, your reporter is doing a fake story, he doesn't have documents and all that. Thankfully, in that case, the editor backed me and said, you have any issue, talk to my reporter. Convince him that it's a wrong story, we'll drop it. The next day, I met this minister and had a huge argument. Finally, on camera, I made him say that there was a mistake. His contention was, yes, I made a mistake, there was a land scam essentially. He said, yes, I made a mistake, but I corrected that. I said, you just said you made a mistake, you lied in his own affidavit. So if you stick your ground, and if you're lucky, if your editor backs you, then it's great. So you can take that political pressure as well. But there are times when you can't. For example, there's a Rajya Sabha MP from Karnataka, and even now there are questions about the wealth he has amassed. The land that he got from Karnataka government at throwaway price of 5 lakh rupees, and he went on to make 500 odd crore rupees by selling that land. He said, I'll establish an industry here, just off Tumkur Road in Bangalore. And he sold that land, made a lot of money. And we got documents of this. I pitched that story, and the fact that this politician by then had also started a new English channel. My channel then said, no, it'll look bad. We both are English channels, it looked like personal vendetta, and dropped that story. So I didn't have much to do then because right from my editor to other senior editors, everyone said it's not a great idea to run this story. But we were very clear that he had amassed wealth, got benefit by taking government land and made huge amount of money. And one option that you guys have as reporters and journalists is to then give that story to some other channel. That's what we did. We gave a lot of that data and documents to one activist and another reporter. Finally, it went to a magazine which finally carried that story. So if you have a story, your primary job is to ensure that it comes out. If your own organization is not putting out, it's your duty to ensure that it reaches the society. You give it to an activist, put it on social media, give it to someone else, ensure it goes out. But you have a lot of these people, once you become journalists, one thing that you will realize is that a lot of these people who are giving you gyan on social media, Twitter, Facebook, are big-time hypocrites. I mean, there's a famous personality from Bangalore, right? And she talks about Bangalore and how we should improve Bangalore and every possible issue that needs to be spoken about in Bangalore, traffic, lakes, everything. And she owns a pharmaceutical company in Bangalore. And we had done a story, we pretty much managed to establish on camera that this pharmaceutical company was discharging a lot of effluents into the lake. The company is just off electronicity. And I was in TV9 News 9 then, and we were about to air the story. She called my MD, Mr. Mishra, and there was so much pressure from that corporate communications team. I'm very, very grateful to Mr. Mishra then that he backed that story. And we aired that story for a good 1 day or so. Second day, they sent a 3-page clarification, and then there's a whole argument saying you should carry the entire 3-page clarification. Who does that in TV media today? So I'm just telling you that you will see many of them are hypocrites. Once you become journalists, you will recognize that. But always stick by your story. Great if your editor backs you. Otherwise, ensure that that story goes out to public domain in some way or the other. Now you have more such platforms to do that. You have News Laundry, you have Altnews that will verify a lot of it and put it out. So you have options to do that. So ensure that you stick to your principles, what you believe in, the groundwork that you are in. That'll really help you in putting out that story. The other aspect, as I said, the one that we deal on a day-to-day basis here is fake news. And trust me, it's almost become an alternative job for us. Someone puts something on social media, then your team will send you saying, can you check this? And then you check. And then it turns out it's fake news, so it's a 2 hours lost verifying one news. I'll give you 3-4 examples. The one as recently as this week. There's a trust vote in Karnataka Assembly. I hope you guys know about it. Mr. Kumaraswamy resigned on Tuesday, right? On Monday there was debate going on in the House. And someone released a letter saying Mr. Kumaraswamy has resigned. His resignation letter is ready. They've managed to forge his signature pretty much the same way that he has, his original signature is. And it comes in from Delhi and Mumbai. And the session is going on, the Chief Minister is inside, you can't verify with the Chief Minister. Some channels actually, in vernacular, few media channels and I think 2-3 English channels break that news saying Kumaraswamy about to resign, this is his resignation letter. There's one thing that we need to do every time there's a news that needs to be verified or if you want to see if something is fake news. One is to ask for personal verification, call up that person and see if it's true or not. The second is a very close scrutiny. When the Chief Minister is inside, obviously we can't verify with him, we are trying to reach his team. But if you look at that letter very closely, I wanted to put that letter, I don't have it on my phone today. If you see that letter very clearly, at the end of that letter he says, please dissolve the cabinet formed on 22/7/2019. Then you will understand his cabinet wasn't formed this week, it was formed much earlier last year. So fake news is a huge issue for us and it's had some terrible impact on Bangalore and Karnataka as well. I think 3 years back, 2.5, 3 years back, you guys will remember there was a leopard at a school in Bangalore, the outskirts of Bangalore, Whitefield, right? So when already there was so much tension, around 10:30 one night, someone sends a photo of a leopard in a very badly lit road and says this is in Whitefield. Regional channels, vernacular media doesn't even bother to verify. People go, they're panicking, parents are calling teachers asking how could we send us students to school tomorrow. But you can verify that as well, it's simple. We saw that photo and then many of us understood it wasn't a leopard, it was a cheetah. And we don't have cheetahs in Karnataka or in India at all. So where did it land in Whitefield, right? But regional channels didn't even bother to do that. They said, okay, someone sent us a photo saying this is a leopard in Whitefield. They ran it and people started calling everyone. 10:30, the commissioner is called, the forest department is called. Everyone goes into a tizzy at midnight. So the problem is, thankfully, many of us English journalists understood it was a fake news and alerted our office. But the tragedy is, we put it out on social media, we informed our friends in vernacular media, but nobody bothered to really take that news back. Next morning I see a popular Kannada channel still running that story, saying, oh, a leopard spotted in Whitefield. So you will have to question the intention also of some of these channels. That's one issue that we have with the vernacular media. The second is, you guys should have read about the whole northeast exodus that happened in Karnataka a few years back, if I'm not wrong, 2012 or 13 that time. And this happened because of fake news. Then you didn't have WhatsApp penetration to this level, but it was almost a murmur campaign going on. Someone said the Muslim community in Bangalore has decided to target all the northeast people, and this just spread like wildfire, and we had like 100,000+ of people from northeast going out of Bangalore, searching for every train that's going towards North India and then from there to go on to northeast. But none of these vernacular media channels tried to see where it's coming from. Is it really that's the case? Has anyone said that we want to target the northeast students or the northeast community in Bangalore? Nobody did that. And you had almost 100,000+ people now who were put into trouble. Many of them came back, thankfully, but it did affect their life for 2 weeks, tarnished the image of Bangalore. And the second is the whole assault on African students, right? It started off with one African student being badly thrashed. There's still debate out on whether it was a racial attack or whether it was, I think you guys will know, if you are involved in an accident in Bangalore or any part of India, if you are not a localite, the chances of you getting beaten up is high, right? That's what it might have happened is the argument. But nonetheless, a large section of the media was irresponsible. They called it a racial attack, saying the local community in these parts of Bangalore had decided to attack African students and there was panic. Unfortunately, section of regional media and English media too took the same line because it's fancy to call it a racial attack, right? Just saying two students thrashed brutally in a fight that happened after accident doesn't sound really catchy. So just call it a racial attack, it's much more catchy for news. So unfortunately, the reporters at these times didn't really put their foot down. By the time some of us wanted to say no, it's not the case, everyone was calling it a racial attack. So everyone, the rest of the channels, newspapers too wanted to call it a racial attack. So fake news is a daily challenge for us. Now people have made a business of verifying these news. You have alt news and various such outlets making money just verifying whether this is true or not. So I believe I think first the responsibility is with the vernacular media to ensure that a lot of it doesn't spread, because many of this fake news that comes on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere is directly carried as a news item by the vernacular media, and then it spreads. The problem for us today is yes, alt news or various of these sites will verify this news, but they cater to a very niche segment, right? Your English-speaking audience. What about someone sitting in Mandya or Belagavi who doesn't understand or can't read English? He will still believe that there was a cheetah near Whitefield in Bangalore. So that's an issue for us. Unfortunately, we don't have enough funding for these sites that they go into multiple vernacular languages. But that's something that the vernacular media needs to improve upon, and that's a daily challenge for us. If you have any questions, you can ask. These are three issues. I've largely tried to share things that I can share here, take news, whichever I can.
Thank you, sir, for sharing a valuable experience with us. May I request Dr. Naresh Rao to give the token of appreciation to Mr. Harish.